Say hey, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Say Hey. Obviously, I am not old one hole or two fingers Bouquet in the one hole. I'm Dabby Cab. I'm hosting for him. You know, some stuff went down. I don't know if everybody heard about it. It was pretty serious. I think they got him, Mike. I think he got solved.
Oh no!
Yeah, I think
Oh no!
South Korea came hunting for Jose. But anyways, we're here. The show's got to come on. So we're gonna run it down with you guys. Unexpected, out of nowhere host, but we're gonna make it happen. I still got some graphics for everyone. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. JW, Morgan Spooner, Justin, Chai, everybody, man. Everybody out there, drop your plays. Let us know what you got going. But Mike, how you doing this weekend, man? How you feeling?
Doing well, man. It's been a fun weekend. What a great night of fights last night. The boxing fight there with Paul and decision. Just a good time, man. Good day yesterday. Still feeling the effects from it, and Friday was a good night as well too. So there's been a lot going on, man. A lot of sports this weekend, and we got a full card again today. So I'm excited, dude. I always get excited. Now that excitement like Christmas morning before you open your presents, and
hey,
you get that
that's me.
to look at the card.
That's me on Saturdays, Mike. When I'm getting up for college football. Speaking of fights. We were talking about it a little bit backstage. How about old Ramirez?
That's my guy, man.
What'd you think about that?
I was exceptionally proud of the lad. He didn't take no shit. That fucking Anderson, man. I'll tell you, what a scrub. He got hurt there in the front part of the season. His inconsistency at bats. He's not able to have been productive this year. On a low count of all-time games played, and then he went and got knocked out last night. I mean, there was no doubt. That was the best. That was better than any of the UFC fights that was going on out there. Flipped him real good right on the side and put him down.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it, man. I think when he knocked him down, I think every short person out there. Shout out to Jose, our host, our missing host. Yeah. Shout out to Dutch, my co-host of the sesh. I think every short person jumped up and cheered just a little bit.
Man. That's Tim Anderson's got a hell of a lot of home runs to wash that off his back there. But that was a lot of fun too. And he got the RBI for me, Ramirez. So that was a game of games for me. The first thing I saw was the fight. The second thing I went to do is look to make sure that he got his RBI, and he did. So let's keep it going, Jose Ramirez. Yeah. Shout out to you.
There you go, man. Those RBI props have been hot. But yeah, let's not waste everybody's time because Sunday we got a lot of action ready to get to it. Aren't as pretty as usual because I made them like 5 minutes ago. So forgive us for the graphics, but at least we can see what game we're talking about here. First game going on, we got the White Sox taking on the Guardians. Guardians minus 133 here, total sitting at 8.5. When we intro these, Mike, I'm gonna pull up the money on these because one hole Bouquet sent them to me. Let me get the market for everybody. It's gonna take me just a second. Like I said, ill prepared today, guys. So very sorry about that, but our bets are ready to go, and I think that's really what matters most. But Mike, what do you got on this game, man?
Yeah, so you're talking about the cash flow here. We had the line open up at minus 155. Looks like there's minus 145s out there now. So we've had about a 10-cent movement over to the White Sox side of the house. We've got 77% of the bets and 84% of the cash on the Guardians. So despite some of those larger bets, the numbers kind of moving in an interesting direction because when you look at where the White Sox line opened at 125, it's now plus 130. So interesting. Kind of the books are kind of throwing the smoke screen out there, and I'm just going to fall back on what's been kind of good faith or old faithful for me here when it comes to these games now with 2 years of data on these Sunday before 1 p.m. starts. What we're finding is the home team is going to an 11-2 spot if they're coming off of an over the previous day. So the home team gets it done off the over. And the under's been trending as well at a 3-10. But when I look at this White Sox team here, I've got a spot where they're terrible in the third game of the season. Both collectively in the third game of the season in the series, they're 10-24. They're 2-9 right now in their last 11 on the road. And their under on the White Sox side of the house is 2-11 as well to the under. So two spots that I like here. I do like the Cleveland Guardian spot. It's a little juicy, but I'll eat this juice at minus 145, I think is what I can see out there right now. And,
how do you feel? I know you look mostly at markets and stuff, but how do you feel about Xavier Curry, the guy? He's got a 2.9 ERA on the season, 41 strikeouts with 17 walks. And even though he's a bullpen guy, he does have a few games where he's gone 3 innings, so he has extended a bit. Against Pittsburgh, he went 3 innings and gave up 1 hit. That was July 17th against Philly. He went 3 innings and gave up 1 hit. So he's been extended a little bit sometimes. Actually, against the White Sox back on July 28th, he went 3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 run. So he didn't do bad there either. So he's got some experience here against the White Sox. And like I said, he's getting stretched a little bit here. How do you feel about Curry, though?
I took his K prop over. So over 3.5 Ks for me at plus 136. I thought there's just too much value on that. Yeah, he's not been going very deep, but when he's getting around that 2K spot right now when he gets an inning and a half of work. So if we can get into the 3rd inning, I expect him to be in a situation where I did think the cards were tilted to the under in this one a little bit. So, that being said, I felt like Curry on that K prop over 136 is good money. I also looked at some RBIs. When I was kind of going down the line, Ramirez, there he is at plus 115. It's kind of below the threshold of a spot where I would play him, though. I don't like to go too far below 125 or 130 because I just feel like the value kind of drops by the wayside. Obviously, the cheaper that price gets. So, that's kind of some thoughts there. Anderson, if you want to see this guy bounce back, if he's even playing today after being concussed, is plus 215 for an RBI. I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't waste my time on that, but. Jimenez there. Anders Jimenez is a guy that I do like for an RBI at plus 160 as well. So there's a couple of looks and leans that I have kind of when it comes to the hitting props. I'm on that K prop and I'm on the Cleveland side.
I love it, man. And we'll recap everything at the end as always, guys. We'll try and keep everything kind of a normal flow here as best we can. But shout out to everybody in the chat again because some people are just now rolling in on Sunday. Justin, our guy out there, Barry Smith, he said he's got White Sox run line. You're braver than me, man. What the White Sox do at the plate makes me sick, man. If you look at their on base percentage, 30th in the league, it's just about as bad as it gets. And these guys swing and miss more than, for just on to piggyback on your K prop just a little bit, man, which I didn't even plan to do when I started talking just now. The White Sox swing and miss so fucking much, man. Like if you're gonna take a K prop, they're the team to do it against. So I get that completely. Shout out Ron. Appreciate the comment in there, man. Everybody in the chat, Big Show, got to give a special shout out to our guy, Big Show. It's his birthday today. He's had a good run here the past few weeks. Got married, found out he's having a little boy, and now it's his birthday. And then this Thursday, we're going to be kicking it, in Southtown 101 again together. So shout out Big Show, man.
Shout out to Big Show.
You guys got to bear with me. I got to pull the fucking to go from the chat back to the banners or the brand. We're moving on. We're going to the next game. I got nothing on this one. I got some action today. I made it before I knew I was hosting, so it didn't change anything, but not on that game. All right, let's see. Next game, we're moving on right here. We've got your New York Mets, Metropolitans, taking on the Orioles. If this is a little bit out of order, also my bad because I just made the graphics. But Orioles sitting at, minus 185 to minus 166. These lines might move. I kind of just put the best line out. Total sitting at 8.5 or 9, depending on where you're looking. You got Bradish on the mound for the Orioles here, who's been, pretty reliable most of this season. Kind of like a good inning eater. He doesn't walk too many people. He keeps his ERA down. 7-6 on the season with 3.32 ERA, a 1.12 WHIP. Bradish has kind of been one of those guys. Quintana on the other side. It's the Mets. I don't know what you want me to say. At this point, I agree with Jimmy. Shout out to Jimmy and shout out to Jose, our typical host here. They're betting the Orioles pretty much every day, -1, if you can get the value. And I get it at this point, especially here in this spot against the Mets, because I damn sure wouldn't be on the Mets side. But what you looking at here, Mike?
Boy, it's a tricky spot because, I've been getting cashed out here with Baltimore going back for since I can remember. And so it's been a no-brainer for me to go with that first 5 minus a half at minus 120 is a number that I see out there right now. I don't know that I get there today. What I do like in the spot is the over. I think we've seen kind of, the last couple of games have shown that Baltimore's got the bats figured out. They've got 10 runs the first game of the series, 7 the last game. They had 6 going back to the game before that against Toronto. Also, this is a situational line spot for me where the line parameters with a non-divisional team after the All-Star break favors a 19-2 trend. So I'm going to go to that over. I'm going to take the full game over because I'm not sure where that explosion of runs comes into play, but I think it's there. And I see the over 8.5 is minus 120. So Quintana is certainly capable of getting lit up like a pincushion or a pinata. And Bradish, could certainly be capable of the same. So give me an opportunity to see some bats here today. I think it's going to be a situation where you want to potentially bring the glove to the ballpark too, because I think there's going to be some runs on the board, and I like that 8.5. Oh, Gabby, I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it. Nobody say it.
Fuck you, Mike. See, and it fits. It fits for what Mike was saying too. He said pretty bad at picking picks is Jose, but good at running a show. Look, I can run a show just fine. I was not fucking ready for this whatsoever. I got a whole fucking life going on, and Jose's like, "Hey, I don't have my computer charger. I'm 12, and I can't go to a store and buy a computer charger, and I also can't just get on my phone and have somebody run it." So out of nowhere, I'm hosting a show with 15 games. Completely not ready, but I figured, it's about you guys. Like, it's about you guys in the chat. So fuck it. We're up here. We're making that money. So let's keep rolling. I got nothing on this game, man. Like I said, I'd back the Orioles if I was going to bet it, but I'm not going to. So moving on to the next one. And it is hard running this fucking show to produce it. Like having to switch from the chat back to the other stuff. And he didn't leave me graphics and stay up either. But anyways, moving on here. Next game, looking at the Astros taking on the Yankees. I'm loving every game that the Astros lose and the Rangers win. I'm just sitting here eating it up. I'm not going to lie. I want the Rangers to take that division pretty bad. Getting that 2.5 game lead is starting to feel good here, but you got, Jose Urquidy on the mound for the Astros, Rendon on the other side, Rodon. Sorry, I said Rendon. Rodon, he's been fucking just atrocious all year. He struggles to get through 5 innings. If you look at what he's done, he hasn't got through 6 all season. The most he's pitched is 5 2/3 against the Mets. Really just struggling hard to get through those innings, and that would make it a hard spot for me because I expect the Astros to really pick up their game here. At plus money, I'd probably be looking at the Astros, but I haven't got to the window just yet on this one.
I kind of think of the same thing there when it comes to a team and this Yankees Houston series, particularly for the Astros, coming off a road loss. They're 8-0 in their last 8, so they're a bounce back team. Right now, I see the number out there is plus 110. I think that's too much value to pass up here with an opportunity on a team that top to bottom is more consistent and capable than simply the home team of the Yankees. So a couple other spots that I do like out there from a K prop or from an RBI perspective is Stanton, Giancarlo Stanton. His situation.
Did you see him running yesterday?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Holy shit.
And he's been super productive, especially with the addition of Judge coming back to the lineup. Here's a guy where, the bats are starting to click again. But I think in this case, I was able to cash that first 5 under yesterday. I'm going to go to the Astros. I'm going to make it official and lock it in. Again, I was saying Stanton's home run rate right now is pretty high when it comes to the situation he's in. Tucker's obviously a guy I like to take a look at as well. But I'm going to go with the Astros. Take that plus money. Give me the 110.
Yeah. So my only pause, the reason I didn't get to the window on this one is because it's Jose's first start since April 30th against the Phillies. He did look good in that start. 5 innings, gave up 3 hits, only 2 earned runs. And he's somebody who I expect, he's only got 6 starts under his belt this season. So that 5.2 ERA is not something that would really scare me. I expect positive regression from that. It's just, as a pitcher, I don't get behind pitchers on their first starts back. But if I did, gun to head bet this game, it would be the Astros. I'd be right there with you. So I completely get it on that one.
I do like the Alvarez RBI at plus 135 as well. So there's another look of maybe a same game parlay if you're thinking about cooking something together. I would include Stanton, Alvarez, and why not throw in Tucker as well?
Is this a serious question, Prime Time? He said, "Who won the Jose Ramirez and Tim Anderson fight?" That's not a real question. Everybody knows the answer to that one.
One dude got knocked the hell
out. But yeah, man, appreciate everybody in the chat. Moving on here. Blue Jays, Red Sox. Shit, man. Yesterday had some crazy stuff in baseball. Now that I think about it, it was a lot of fun across the board. I'm thinking of that Red Sox game. You saw how that game ended. You got 2 on, 1 out. Deep fly ball hit, what was it? Right center field. Probably looked like it was going to hit the monster, but as a base runner, you can't just assume that that's going to happen. You go halfway between second and third. You wait to see what happens. once it happens, then you run because you're going to score easily. Game on the line. That shit was crazy to me. So much crazy stuff in baseball yesterday. Just absolute ass as a hat right there on that play. Did you see it?
Yeah, it seems like there's been an uptick in stupidity in Major League Baseball lately, and I'll go to my guy Trey Turner and the Phillies. He's made his share of asinine moves out there, and it seems like I've seen quite a few of them that have really cost more so than I can remember in years past where it cost games here. So, but the Red Sox, what a letdown yesterday. As a baseball guy, when you come all the way back just to get the shit reamed out of you again, how does that affect the psyche when you come into the next game?
Bro, and in such an important game too. How do you fuck that up? So, and what does everybody say? Like, you want to pick somebody up when they make an error or something like that. But an error is different. That was a mental error. That wasn't like a fielding error. That was like complete mental error, just absolute lapse right there of what's going on in the game. I just don't understand how you fuck that up. But anyways, Blue Jays here. Blue Jays are plus money again today. And I said it yesterday. Jose didn't want to hear it, and I hated to say it to him because, he was on the Red Sox, but I was like, look, man, I'll be honest with you. I think the value's probably at the plus money with the Blue Jays in this game. And I get it. Blue Jays have won one of their last, now two of their last 9 games against the Red Sox. So it's a lot of momentum, but a lot of times with baseball, and I know you probably see this as a guy who looks at trends, every trend has to die at some point, right? Everything's going to start trending another direction at some point. But today you got Bassett on the mound for the Blue Jays. Bassett is what Bassett is. He's going to go out there and he's going to give you a 2 to 4 run start. He's going to give you 5-6 innings and he's going to give up 2 to 4 runs. It's kind of who he is. For me personally, I still think there's value on the Blue Jays at plus money here. I don't know if I'll get to the window there, but it's kind of where I'm leaning. What are you looking at here, Mike?
Yeah, I'm with you in this. I'm in the same boat. I think that Toronto has this season particularly has the worst record against their divisional opponents than any team in Major League Baseball. So to your point about playing to the back of the baseball card and trends having to die, that's kind of fits the mold here. And we're seeing it. A lot of people were on Boston to take the series, Boston to win each of these games. And Toronto's somehow figuring it out. They got the spark they needed, I guess, in their offense with bringing up some of their AAA ball players here. And it seems to be paying dividends for them. So at a plus money spot, another trend I'll throw out there is Boston, when they're coming off a loss at home against the Blue Jays, they're 0-9 right now as well. So that line opened up at minus 155 all the way down to minus 110. So they've been steaming on the Blue Jays. 62% of the bets and 71% of the cash are on the Red Sox, and it's gone down almost 50 cents. So huge action coming in on that Blue Jays side of the house. And I think it's for right reasons here. Bassett and I don't know how long Bernardino's going to go, but I like a Toronto spot here. So I'm going to go with Toronto in the first 5 of this game. It's not something I do very often, but I think in this case, I'd rather take the opportunity. It's even money right now for Toronto in the first 5, and I'm going to kind of ride that Bassett hand and being able to at least get it started. Maybe they tucker out towards the end, but I like Bassett to get it started for me. Hell
yeah. Hey, everybody in the chat, and you heard what I said. I agree with that. I'm going to throw some stuff out there. I'll get in a rhythm here. I haven't hosted with the game, so I'm kind of starting to feel the rhythm. I want to throw out some of the stats. If we don't give you the money and you want to hear the money on the total or you want to hear the money on the game, just ask for it in the chat. And if I don't see your comment in the chat, fucking say it again. I won't say you're spamming because we want to make sure and get to all you guys out there. DT said Toronto took their souls. I agree completely. It kind of feels like what the Mariners have done to the Angels almost. Maybe not on that big of a level where like Ohtani was about to cry, but that was just epic what the Red Sox did yesterday. It was so bad. Nate Dogg said he's got Bassett over K's. The Blue Jays, they've won 2 of their last 3 games, obviously, in this, against the Red Sox, 4 of their last 5 road games. And they're playing well offensively overall as a team. They put up 22 runs in their last 3 games. I don't see any reason why they're going to stop putting up runs. They're an offensive team, right? There's a reason why there's attacks on the Blue Jays. And on the road, they're putting up close to 5 runs per game, which is pretty damn good. And Boston's pitching, especially as you get into their bullpen, it's not bad, but I think they lost it yesterday. I'd be looking at the Blue Jays here myself. So, and I might get there also. All right, let me find the next banner. Sorry about that. Next game we're looking at, Royals, Phillies here. I mean, it feels like something happened that I can talk about in every game. Maybe I just watch too much fucking sports. But Turner hitting that home run. I mean, I saw people saying like, hey, turnaround. Is this a turnaround for Turner? Look, you can't say that after one swing, but it sure had to feel good for him. I'm everybody on their feet cheering for him. Lowest batting average he's had in his life, in his career. And he just belts a 3-run homer that not only, ties the game up, but puts him back in the lead. Had to feel good. But you got Greinke on the mound here in this season, a 5.32 ERA, 69 strikeouts to the 15 walks, a 1.26 whip, going against Walker, who, even though some of his stats aren't like the best, he has just been Mr. Reliable for the fucking Phillies, man. 12-4. They seem to like to put runs up behind him. He's got a 3.99 ERA, 102 strikeouts to the 48 walks, and a 1.26 whip. But like I said, just gets the job done, which is what you want out of a pitcher for, he might not be somebody you want on the mound in the playoffs, but during the season, that's what you want. You want somebody who can go out there, who can eat innings, who's going to give you 5 innings no matter what, might give you 7, on a great day, could give you 8. And all that being said, I would lean towards the Phillies here, probably in the first 5. I'd take them on the run line. I haven't bet it, but what are you looking at, Mike?
I like the Phillies in this spot. It's hard for me to get out of that juice, though. I think it's just too much. I've been saying it all series here, and I've been on the fade where, minus 210. Here's what we have is 27% of the bets and 70% of the money on the Kansas City money line side of the house. So bigger bets are coming in. Not unlikely scenario here when you think about the cost, right? We're not going to see a lot of those bigger bets coming in laying a minus 200. They don't play like that. So makes sense that it kind of favors the Kansas City side. I guess if I was going to take a shot at it, I would consider that. But for me in this case, I'm just going to go with an RBI prop. Last game of the series, I made money on this series. I'm going to go with Salvador Perez to get the RBI at plus 145. He's seen TJ twice. He's gotten hits off them both times. One of them for an RBI, so he's capable of driving in runs. I do think there's going to be scoring in this game. So just give me that plus 145 on the Salvador Perez RBI spot.
Yeah, yesterday I was just looking at the first 5 over in this game, which would have cashed pretty easily. So I think there's runs again here. I agree with that. As somebody who does props, like I know a lot of what you do is numbers, but just, Turner's stuff is probably, it's got probably has value right now for how shitty he's been hitting. He hasn't been doing anything, and maybe what he did yesterday isn't a turnaround thing. But there's got to be some kind of momentum going into his swing today. He's got to feel good about it. And for those who don't know, baseball is right fucking here, okay? Right. 80%, 90% of the game is played between the head. Just little adjustments to a release point, little adjustments to a swing make the difference in hitting fucking 220 on the season or 280 on the season. It's all right here. So I think Turner props might actually be something worth looking at today. I think it'd be interesting, to see what his over 1.5 bases are. Or he's been doing so bad, Mike. I bet you can get either even money or close to even money on over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for Turner. If you can find that, I'm going to look real quick. If you got anything else to say about this game, I'm going to see if I can find that.
I think it's a live betting opportunity. Guys that I like in the batting categories today, particularly this game kind of lights it up for me. Again, I expect runs. I like that Perez spot. Castellano's been doing really well when it comes to the bases perspective. His home run is only plus 310, so strongly suggesting he's going to score. Trey Turner's home run is plus 425, so if you're going to feel that kind of groove, that he's back in the groove, that's a pretty good spot.
Man, the books think he's back in the groove too. What the hell kind of juice is this?
Quickly turned around, and now he's in the situation where he's not even much value there. But at Bobby Witt Jr.,
really?
Yeah, right. Is that enough to say this guy's back? But again, I think it's an offensively driven game today, right? We've got some weather elements where there's a slight wind coming in, but we know that both these pitchers are capable of getting beat up quickly. Greinke at 5.32 ERA, probably going to be lit up like a Christmas tree tonight, but we'll see.
Yeah, so we'll keep going on. But Justin said plus 108 for bases, maybe over the 1.5 bases. Maybe you look at that. Shout out our guy Jay Peasy. If you was about to say, if you didn't know, he's on the motherfucking intro. But this ain't the, but our guy JPZ, you know, always on the intro of our show. He said, I think I'm about to hear the Cubs plus money is the play today, but you're on the Braves. I mean, you know, one of my rules, you might hear it from this guy right here, but I don't bet against the Braves. I mean, I might cap it towards the other team, but I don't go to the window against the Braves. I just can't. Nutflush said he knows the entire public think he's back, so the books are going to say that. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know if, you know, a player prop would be something people would think about that quickly, but I guess it is, because they show that they've already fucking adjusted. So I guess so, man. Next game on the slate here, you got the Nationals taking on the Reds. Finally, I have a game that I don't have something to say about. There wasn't a fight or somebody who, you know, cost the game for their team running on a fly ball. You know, nothing crazy happened in this one yesterday that I can think of. Am I missing anything on this one, Mike, from yesterday?
Just that the Nationals beat up on the Reds. That was pretty crazy to see. I was expecting at home that the Reds were going to be able to find a way to get it done, and they just got, you know, ass kicked right from the get-go. It was that game was over, and then the little bit of hope as they started to put some runs on the board was just quickly ripped back away because the Nationals came back and just kept hitting the ball. So shout out to Lane Thomas and the boys.
So here's the thing about today. You know, usually if I knew I was doing a show, if I see somebody like Lyon Richardson on the mound, who I don't have a fucking clue who it is, I would do a little bit of research and be able to tell you guys, oh, he did this and, you know, the minors, or he did this. I don't know who the fuck he is. And that's who's starting for the Reds today. Lyon Richardson. You got Jake Irving on the other side, you know, 3-5 on the season, a 4.86 whip, 62 strikeouts to 34 walks, which is not good. He's allowing way too many free passes, a 1.4 whip. And you got this total sitting at 10.5. So I got no feel for this game whatsoever. The obvious bet I think would be to take an over or a first 5 over. I'm not going to do it here. But that's really the only thing I would even lean to. Mike, I'm sure you got something on it, though.
Yeah, just a real simple rule that I put in play this season that's been paying dividends is new pitcher starting, no stats and data on him in the show, no run first inning spot. And, you know, the no run first inning has been, you know, priced pretty well for me in this situation. I think my record right now on it is like 9-2 in the last 11, just off the cuff. But the Cincinnati no run first inning is plus 120. So, plus opportunity to get in and out of this game. It's a full card.
You're going with somebody you don't know on their first start, no run?
Hell yeah, dude. I'm 9-2 on it this season. So I'm going to keep going with it. So I think you got a little stat.
When you say you're 9-2, like, what do you mean? Like on a rookie's first start or something?
Yeah, the no run first inning spots that I've played have been 9-2 this season when it comes up for me. So
yeah, but most of them aren't rookies' first starts, right?
I have to go back and scrub it more. It's just been for me the first start of this season. So you know, falls into the criteria.
Oh, like a pitcher's first start, just a pitcher's first start in general.
Yeah, outside of the month of April, right? So kind of the guys that we knew were going to start. So as it started to kind of trickle into effect, the spots that I've isolated have been playing out really well. And you know, we're seeing plus money, which I debated on the show with our buddies Dave and Moose at one point about the impact. And I said, for me, it seems like when you've got a pitcher you don't know about, maybe he gets lit up early, but the odds favor the fact that they think he is going to get lit up, and the first starts have been really well for pitchers this season, and they're not getting lit up. So at least they can get through the first 3. You know, they get their tempo and their timing down. Otherwise, it's a blow up, and I'm over and out of that game anyways. Who wants to sit around and watch this game?
Right? Yeah. Fuck this game. I agree with that. So we'll move on to the next. Again, everybody in the chat, man, shout out to you guys. Paco Healy, Morgan Spooner, DT, everybody, man. JPZ, big show. Happy birthday again. Nut Flush. If I miss anything that you're putting in there, whether it's a play, whether it's a comment that you want us to highlight, just drop it again, because I'm doing the best I can going between the banners and the chat. But our next one here, we got the Rays taking on the Tigers. You know, Scooball Day. God, I can't talk today. Paid off for our guy Big Show yesterday. He got his 6 strikeouts. And I thought yesterday was an easy under for the Tigers game, and it played out like that also. Rays sitting here as a little bit of a favorite, minus 194. It's probably up to 200 or higher at some places. I just, to me, this game, I don't feel like, you know, with Glass now on the mound, I'm not going against him. So it's just not going to happen. Even at minus 200, you got Matt Manning on the mound on the other side. He's been not as bad as his numbers say. You know, it's hard to say that about somebody whose ERA is just over 4.5. But you know, I think he's shown signs at some point. He keeps people off base. He's only got a 1.1 whip. But again, I'm not going against Glass now. I think the Rays might come out, you know, a little bit looking for revenge. But if anything, I'd go under in this spot again. It's just something that I've noticed, you know, a lot of teams come into Detroit and they don't put up runs. It's just kind of how it is.
Yeah, interesting spot for Tampa with the Manning situation as the starter here, coming off of getting shelled his last 2 games. Right, he let up 7 earned runs in 5 innings against the Angels, and then ran it back against Pittsburgh and let Pittsburgh put 4 runs up on him. Both losses, 3 losses in a row for Manning. I don't know about Detroit's spirit right now. They just seem to be crushed and compromised. They're just not there for it. It's not a team that I can get down with. So what I probably will look at here, and this is something that I would give consideration for everybody at, is look at this first inning. When we see live betting opportunities that exist for teams that are really consistent or paying out at a high dividend, the total on this game right now is at around 8, right? So what we see in these Detroit games is they score early, and you probably heard me say this before. They tend to score. Somebody's scoring in that first inning, and that number goes up to around a 9, sometimes even a 10. And it's a great spot to slap that under on it because you just got yourself another 1 or 2 runs built into that number. And what happens is they start falling off in the second half. The bullpen plays really strong, and they start to kind of play shutdown defense. So look for a live bet opportunity if there are runs scored early in this game. But I don't have a specific play on it at this point. I'm still kind of kicking around how I'm going to play it.
Yeah, you know, a little bit on what I was saying about Glasnow's how he's been pitching, man. He's got what I think this is his 14th start, or maybe his 13th start. I should have that in front of me. But his strikeout rate, he's just, you know, he's getting people to swing and miss at a ridiculous rate. His last 5 starts, his ERA has been under 2 on top of that. So, I mean, he looks like the ace of the staff, even more so than McClanahan of late. I mean, I don't think that will stay that way. But yeah, Glasnow's been that guy. So for me, you know, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is he the primary? Because I see Ramirez in there as the starter.
Oh, I see. I don't know. That would be interesting to me. Look at this. We got everybody. He's been scratched. Yeah. Okay, so sorry. Again, I didn't have Dick for prep time for this show. So I mean, for me, that puts me off this game. The line is probably not even close to what I have. Everything's probably off. So sorry about that.
Yeah, like I said, I just look for that live bet opportunity. If I see runs in the first inning, I'm going to go for the under.
Hey, well, look, at least we're getting chat interaction. I told you, man, I'm trying to fucking go to the banners and move, you know, usually shows that I do have somebody producing it for me. And I guess I didn't realize how much that helps. Shout out Big Show, you know, Vic, T, everybody back there clicking the buttons. Jose, you see what my graphics look like. They're black and white and they're not very good. But anyways, Mike, did you have any bets that you did want to get out on this before I move on?
No, I think I'm good. I'm good to go on to the next game. I just shared my thoughts on the live bet, so I don't have any play on this game.
Gotcha. All right. Well, hopefully I didn't fuck this one up. Next game, we got Pirates and the Brewers. You know, the Brewers, they're just a team that I can't fucking bet. I've had a little bit of success with them this year, but Woodruff's coming back here. Everybody knows how I feel about, you know, playing people on their first start back, unless I got that one wrong and he's scratched also. But he's ace material, absolutely got electric stuff. He could shut any team down at any point. And the fact that I don't play people on their first start back is the main reason why I'm going to stay off Milwaukee in this spot. Oviedo on the other side has not been good this year. 5-11, a 4.42 ERA, 111 strikeouts with 59 walks. And that's way too many walks. One of the things you're going to hear me complain about is pitchers that walk people. Do not give fucking free passes. Free passes are just something you can't do, especially at this level. 1.34 whip for Oviedo. He's just not somebody I can get behind. But you got the money on this one, Mike, and what are you looking at?
Yeah, what I'm looking at is some RBI opportunities, some RBI props in here. But when I look, I'll pull the cash flow up here, and it looks like we've got 88% of the bets and 91% of the money on the Brewers. So minus 205 open, down to minus 200. That's going to be the debatable spot about where did the line open. I see a 150 opening on Pittsburgh, and it's a plus 180. Lots of money coming in on that Brewers side of the house. I can't blame anybody for going in that direction. I don't know that I can take the Brewers as a minus 200 favorite. Pittsburgh's kind of a sneaky team that could get it done. So, yeah, you're right with the Woodruff start coming back. Oviedo's kind of been stinking it up as of late as well. So the look that I have here is Yelich. I'm going to go with the Yelich RBI as plus 200. So going to double my money opportunity. He's got RBIs in 4 of his last games versus Pittsburgh. So when I find a hitter's comfortable making that contact against a particular team, and I've got the situation where I think the pitcher's kind of on a sell spot here with Oviedo, why not take that shot? And at plus 200, way too much opportunity in there not to take a shot at that thing. And I would even consider the half a unit home run play as well. Let me see what his home run looks like.
That's how much you put on your home run props, half a unit?
Yeah, I usually do the full unit on the RBI and then the half a unit on the home run because in that situation, if they get the RBI, I'm plus money either way. And it gives me a free shot at, in this case here, the Yelich home run is plus 600. So I'll split the two up. I'm going to go with the plus 200 RBI full unit, and I'll put the half a unit on the Yelich home run.
Said, shout out Thomas. He said minus 170 for the Rays now. Ramirez is pitching. Again, yeah, my bad on that, guys. Real deal. Shout out to our guy, the grinder out there. He said, join the PSR Discord. Hop up in there, guys. Anytime I see people in there, you know, whether it's middle of the day, nighttime, morning, pop in there, talk about what we're betting, maybe make some live bets together. It's a good time. I need to get in there more often too, so pop in there. But yeah, Primetime said the Brewers have owned the Pirates the last few years. Most people have owned the Pirates the last few years, but that is true. Brewers have too, though. You know, so I got nothing on this one. Next game I'm actually excited to talk about here. Diamondbacks Twins. Mike, I'm going to give you one guess on why I'm excited to talk about this. You think you can get it?
No,
I'll give you a hint.
Yeah, I need a hint.
You know who's on the mound, bro? Dallas Keuchel.
Yeah, your boy.
Yeah, Dallas Keuchel's on the mound. Anybody who hasn't heard that, I'm probably bringing like the best news you've heard all morning to your ears. If you weren't fading Dallas Keuchel last year, I don't know what the fuck you were doing. You obviously weren't paying attention to baseball if you weren't fading him last year. You know, I was reading something that said he was doing really well in the minors, you know, and he had his outstanding seasons all those years ago back with Houston. But fuck, man, you got Gallen on the mound for the Diamondbacks, and it's sitting at minus 150 to minus 140. I don't understand. I flat don't understand that. Maybe you can shed some light on that for me, Mike. But for me, I'm, you know, Diamondbacks are on the road too. You're getting all 27 outs. I mean, team total over. Yes, please. First 5 team total over. Yes, please.
Yeah. I think that's interesting look here. So the only thing I would say, there's two kind of supporting trends that actually do lean me on the Minnesota side of the house. The first is, well, I guess there's 3 points I'll take through here. The first is pitchers coming into their first start with a new team are running, I think it's 9-2 right now. So they've been playing incredibly well, despite what you would think is a situation where they've got to get used to a new catcher. They've got to get used to new play callings. They have to get used to a new system. You know, everything in the world tells you to play the overs and give it a stab at it and fade the starting pitcher. But in this case, they've been doing really well. Furthermore, Arizona, when they've played a previous day, so they're in the middle of a series, are in an 0-9 spot as well. So this is a tricky little deceiving opportunity out there. And although I think Arizona should be able to get it done with Gallen on the mound, do I want to trust myself in Gallen? No, I don't. So I'm actually going to go the other side of the house here as well. When it comes to the cash flow, I think we talked about
You're going to back Keuchel?
Yeah, I am.
You are a sick fucking bastard.
Yeah, I have to.
I knew it would. But you know what's crazy is I know how profitable you are. So it's just like, it's so interesting to see two sides of a coin here between, like, you know, really fucking good gambler, fucking baseball guy. You know what I mean? Because there's fucking way I could bet on Keuchel.
The line's open at minus 150. It's at minus 150. There's 93% of the money on the Diamondbacks as well, and they haven't budged. So I don't know why they're taking all that cash, and other than everyone's thinking it's Keuchel Day, Dallas Keuchel Day. So yeah, I'm going to turn into the storm. I'm going to embrace this guy's first start, and at a plus 130, What's the best number I can get right now? Let me take a peek here before I lock
You are
this thing in.
fucking psycho, Mike.
Plus 135, I can take it. Plus 135 shot for me. So lock me in. Well, I'm sure I'll get a text from you later telling me how stupid a call that was. But I'm not playing the first 5. I'm going to go with the full game because I think.
Look, listen. One thing I don't do is I might like, and everybody in the chat, they like to joke, they like to laugh when I give Jose, shit. I do it before the bet's made. If I know somebody lost a bet, I'm not going to say shit. Because if you came up to me and said something about a bet that lost to my face, depending on how much money I have on it, I might punch you in the fucking face. So I don't rub in bets that lose to people. That you'll never get that from me. You're never going to get me to text you and be like, haha, I told you so, or some dumb shit like that. Anybody who says that can eat it. That's all I have to say. Yeah, I never do that. But before the game, if you haven't placed the bet, I can say, hey, whoa, Dallas Keuchel, I mean, you're kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. But afterwards, it's all love, man. It's all love. Thomas said he loves the over 8.5. Our guy Nutflesh, again, I left it up there for a minute. He said, don't overthink it. Team total over. I mean, that's where I'm at. I mean, especially if it's 4.5 and you're getting all 27 outs here on the road. Hey, but you know what? Team total over could hit and the Twins could still win. And the over could hit. Everybody could win money here. So, it's baseball. Anything could happen. Fucking Keuchel could go out there and he's not going to throw no hitter. I'm not going to say that. He can't. I'll fucking jinx it. There is no fucking way Keuchel can throw a no hitter. No way. Absolutely no way. So I guess not anything.
I love it. Talk it up for me because right now I see the Twins are hitting the ball well. They're making good contact. They had a nice series against the Cardinals. And they put the slap down on Arizona the last 2 games. Yesterday's 12-1 blowout was borderline embarrassing. So you got a team that's in a travel spot in Arizona. We'll see. I just think the conditions set up favorably for a Keuchel spot at plus 139. So, do I love the play? I love it enough to play it, but I'm not going to go put the mortgage on it. That's for sure.
I mean, Arizona's been, Arizona's been crumbling since the All-Star break. There's not really much else you can say about it other than that. But, again, last year, and this is last year, and he's pitched in AAA and done decent. But last year he had, 14 starts, and his ERA was over 9. I mean, it was comical how bad it was. It was literally comical. So we'll see. I'm excited for this game today. I'm not gonna lie.
Just for entertainment purposes here, I'm going to take a look at what Keuchel to get a no-hitter would pay out because now that you've said it, that vibe is in the air. That juju's out there right now.
Well, that's why I stopped before I said. I was like, I wasn't going to say it because you can't do things like that. But then I was like, no, this motherfucker absolutely is not going to. Go ahead and look to see how much it is for a perfect game for him. If it's not like, if you don't get like $1,000 for every dollar you put on it, there's no value on it.
Honestly, I don't look for that very often, so I wouldn't even know where to begin to look for that. But I'll keep perusing as we're talking.
Yeah, no, you don't got to look that up, man. I'm just joking here. Let me find the
North Ender. I'm on the Twins on this game. I took the Twins at plus 135. Minnesota spot for me. 93% of the cash on the Diamondbacks. On the Diamondbacks, who have had cold bats here, getting less than 3 runs a game. I think Minnesota's capable of that as well. And give me, even if it's a 4-3 finish, which is so Minnesota-esque. I like the Twins in this game. Give me Dallas Keuchel.
All right.
Give me that pile of shit.
He is a junk ball specialist. Lately, just a junk ball guy. But before, in the past, there was a time when he was a junk ball specialist. So that is, it's not like he was a power push pitcher who lost his speed. So I guess I don't know, man. I wouldn't back him, but I'm trying to make it positive. Maybe there's hope for him. And if you win your bet, since I don't have money on it, you are more than welcome to text me if he pitches well. Okay. But if I had money on it, you'd be crossing the line on that one. Let's look at this next one here. One that I particularly could not give a fuck about. Rockies, Cardinals. Sounds like somebody's going crazy in the background. Sorry about that, guys. But Rockies, Cardinals here. Both of these teams are done. Both of these seasons atrocious. At least the Rockies season was supposed to be like this. Cardinals just a complete letdown. They got Zach Thompson on the mound today. 2-3 this year with the 4.76 ERA. He's been out of the bullpen. He hasn't been extended once all season. And on the other side, you got Austin Gomber on the mound. 8-8. You know, there's been a couple spots where I've seen people back Gomber for a W and get good plus money and win. But that's just a tough thing to do. You know, he's got 77 strikeouts with 33 walks, a 1.44 whip. That's just bad, man. His 5.68 ERA. Just a tough person to get behind. I got nothing on this game, Mike. What are you looking at?
So my favorite play as of late has been around that Colorado team. Either I've been catching the nice plus money spots with the sides, first fives or full games, or yesterday on Sharpie's little Saturday get together there, I gave out Ryan McMahon's RBI at plus 275. And, as much as I think these two teams, clearly are in stink it up mode right now, I'm going to run back to that spot. So it's been a lot of fun for me to watch this game and try to get these huge RBI props this time of year for the guys that are consistent. Right now, Ryan McMahon RBI is plus 225. So I went back to the well again. It's been profitable for me, and there's no reason not to go back to it. So I'm locked in for the McMahon RBI at plus 225. And let me see what his home run number is real quick. Plus 650. I'm going to double up. I'm going to do the half unit on the home run, and I'm going to do the full unit on the RBI again.
Beautiful, man. It's so cool listening to listen to your props that you take on this, because I don't know a lot of people that are successful with hitting props, and you're one person that is. So I appreciate the hell out of it as a gambling fan and a baseball fan. It's fun to watch.
I used to do a lot of DFS, and then I kind of got off of that and just started kind of focusing in on gambling. And I guess you could argue DFS is gambling anyways, but for me it became it became a spot where I don't necessarily need to have the action. Am I going to watch the game? No. Am I okay with catching a score update and seeing that this guy knocks it in there? Sure. Makes it fun. Gives me something to look at. And the return has been incredibly, incredibly profitable. Even 1 in 3 days around a break even. And if you do it the right way with this thing. So, I like to take a shot at the no pun intended, but I like to take a shot at the home run. And it's been a lot of fun for me the last year, seeing some of the positive returns from it too. So.
Hell yeah. Again, man, we got almost 200 people in here in the chat. Eric Jones, Philly, Mike Wilkerson, Morgan Spooner, Fixes in, Worth It. Everybody out there. Nunya, shout out to my guy Nunya, man. I got to shout you out in a minute. That's my dude right there. But everybody, thank you for showing up. If you can, let Jose know he's missed, but also leave a like, leave a comment on the show. We really appreciate it. But yeah, let's keep rolling here. Next game, I think people are excited to hear about this one. You got the Braves, taking on the Cubs. Very small favorites here for the Braves. It's up to minus 120 at some places. But this total's sitting at 8.5. And, anytime I see a total at 8.5, even with Steele on the mound, Steele's been that guy, but it's the fucking Braves, man. So I don't know. You got Morton going for the Braves, 10-9 on the season. I talk about people like him. He's crucial for a team, especially a team like the Braves. I know Morton might not necessarily be somebody that you want, on the mound in a playoff game for you, this late into his career. But as far as eating innings up, and just somebody that the team can get behind and win, he's been great. A 3.62 ERA, 128 strikeouts, 1.42 whip. But Steele on the other side, he's been the ace and then some for the Cubs this year. 12-3 record. His ERA is under 3 at 2.65. I mean, he's had Cy Young numbers this year. I mean, he really has. His whip's under it's a 1.13. Only 24 strikeouts or 24 walks, excuse me. Absolutely, he's posted Cy Young numbers. And Cubs are hot right now, so this is a spot where you're getting a hot team with the ace on the mound at plus money. I get it. I just don't bet against the Braves. Go ahead, Mike. I see you smiling. You're ready to go. Go.
I was just thinking about your ringing endorsement for the way you talked about Justin Steele. You're like, with your ace on the mound, I guess. Kind of was like reading between the lines there in your excitement for Justin Steele.
Look, I said he had Cy Young numbers. Maybe not stuff. I said he has Cy Young numbers, okay? He does. He has Cy Young numbers right now. I don't bet against the Braves, Mike. It's just, it's just not something that I do.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. It's not only is it a Braves team that's, certainly capable of playing incredibly well, but we're getting some of the balloon deflated because of what's happened in this series, particularly this last game with the Cubs. I think this number opened at minus 130. Now you can get it at minus 115. So I love it. I'm all over. Plus, I talked about the bounce back situation earlier with the which team was it? Houston, with the road team coming off a loss, is going on an 8-0 spot. The Atlanta Braves are in a similar spot. They're 7-0 against the NL off of a loss. So I think they're in a bounce back spot. I think Morton's a great play on here today. Great play on here today. There's going to be a lot of contact. I think we know that when you see the guy like Morton out there. But at minus 115, I'm going to take this team, and I'm going to certainly look to see that opportunity come through. A couple other spots I like here. I had Azuna yesterday. He kind of let me down. Dansby Swanson, not kind of. He did let me down. He got pulled after, I think, the 6th inning, and he got designated hit on with Darnold. But Dansby Swanson at plus 160. How can you not consider that guy again? Bellinger plus 165. Swanson's got home runs in 4 of his last 6 games as well. So I think these numbers do tend to and lean towards a higher scoring game. You've got Austin Riley's RBIs at plus 140 as well. I'll probably get on some of those RBI opportunities or try to fasten together the same game parlay. But for me, I've got the Braves at minus 115. I think it's a really good bounce back spot. I know they're on the road and travel and this and that and the other, but Steele's not impervious to getting whacked around here. And I think someone's gonna slap him right in the face.
See, the chat's saying we're getting big moves right now. Big move to the Braves last couple minutes. Jeffrey, you said maybe it's a Braves first 5. Nunya backed him up. He said the Braves are moving. Look, I get it, man. You're getting the Braves at a good number. I mean, what do you want? You got the best team in baseball with a good pitcher on the mound at a good number. I mean, I get it. Even if Justin Steele does have a really good game, Braves could still easily win. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he could go 6 innings and give up 2 runs, and they could still easily win. So, yeah, I get it. Shout out to our guy, Moose Money. He said there's no travel from – I don't know what he's talking about. What did you say something about travel?
Yeah, it's a travel spot. It's not Saturday, it's Sunday. Moose, wake up. What I do like is the first half.
Means like after the game, dum-dum.
I got it.
Right? You mean after the game, right?
Of course.
Yeah, Moose thinks you meant like between cities.
Moose also still believes starting pitching matters, so it's okay. Shout out to you, Moose. Thanks for
all right, look, hold on. Don't look, I'll back you up whenever listen, I'm the most honest person up here because I'm going to just tell you how it is. I get it, and I see people who gamble that say that. Starting pitching does fucking matter, though. It's important to be able to cap it. Look, there are so many different ways to do things out there. You can be a successful gambler without capping starting pitching, but you can also be a successful gambler with capping starting pitching. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't play a lot of first 5, so I think I might have a couple on the card today. But unless I'm really trying to hammer away at somebody being a scrub, I see more often than not the bullpens are the ones that get it through. So you look at their record, just because their offense can't produce doesn't mean that they can't find a way to get it done. So anyhow, I think it's a spot where we could see any of these guys, any of these starting pitchers can get ripped apart, get the blister on their finger, come out early, and then the entire cap's out the window. So I like to look at the totality of the game and say, okay, give me the bullpen factored in there as well. Give me as much as possible.
So I love your answer because I agree with what you said. But the way is if anybody hasn't caught on, like I'll talk about the whole game, but 90% of what I do is cap the starting pitching, right?
Yeah.
And I am first 5, and I have been successful this year, so take it for what it's worth. I've been positive ever since I've, started recording my bets publicly. It was only like up 3 units last year. What?
You're notorious for being able to find when it's a play on a particular pitcher versus not, and you've got an incredible record with it. So, I think that's the benefit here of kind of bringing the two together is you kind of bring that first half look, and I'll bring the full game. Yeah.
Hey, Joe might be onto something. He said starting pitching is a third of the equation.
Yeah.
Unless you're betting first 5, it's a half of the equation.
Yeah.
I don't
that's well said.
This is a good little topic here. Weigh in on it in the chat. Let everyone know what you think. Shout out Jacqueline in the chat. Shout out Moose Money. I love the back and forth. I'm kind of like Ron Burgundy. So I'll read anything. Oh, wait, where did it go? He said packing that suitcase really affects the game. He's such a dick. Anyways, we're going to move on to the next one. But I like it, man. I'd be on the Braves too, even with Steele being the ace. Last game he did give up 4 runs too. But here we go. One game that I'm always excited to talk about right now. Marlins taking on the Rangers here. I don't have it in front of me. It's Haney, if I'm not mistaken, versus Sandy. Sandy, I had such high hopes for him this year, which is obvious, but I did not expect what we've seen. 4-9 on the season, a 4.21 ERA, 118 strikeouts to the 38 walks, a 1.21 WHIP. But what do you want to say? His last 2 starts, 9 innings against Tampa Bay, only gave up 1 run. 8 innings against Philly, didn't give up any runs. So as a pitcher, I'm telling you, Mike, and everyone who's listening, I don't give a fuck about his season-long stats. I know who he is as a pitcher. I would not go against Sandy today. The Rangers are the best hitting team in baseball. I like it when the Rangers score runs. They could very easily clap his ass, but be wary. Wary, be wary, whatever the fuck the word is. Be careful if you're going to fade Sandy today, because his last 2 starts have been electric, and he's looked like who he used to look like. And I know everybody knows that I love those first 5 overs sitting at 8.5. This is not a time that I'm going to bet it in this game. Andrew Haney hasn't been great on the season, but he had his last start against the White Sox was his best start that he's had all season. So I could actually see this one going under in the first 5, if I'm being honest. I'm not betting anything in this game. I'm going to watch it as a fan. What are you looking at, Mike?
Interesting angle there. So we're talking about the importance and the impact of starting pitching. You're talking about how Sandy Alcantara is doing really well right now. He's been performing better than his numbers indicate, but here he is sitting on a 4-9 record. So bats just don't come to play, or he's going up there against key lineup changes, and it's making it difficult for him to catch those wins. But he's certainly catching his share of losses, and I think that's kind of the same situation here with Texas. I'm not an Andrew Heaney backer per se, but I think that when it comes to the Texas Rangers playing at home against the Miami Marlins ball club, I got to go with the Texas Rangers. I think that -115 for me. I'll take the fade on him full game. He can do whatever he wants to do in that first 5. The other play that I like to look at here, and I haven't gotten there entirely, is the first 5 at home factor for the next game. So when the Rangers win the first 5 at home, the next game has gone over at a 70% clip. So, or just under, I think it's like 69% rate right now. So more data in favor of an over than not. They did win the first 5 yesterday. And that total right now sitting at 8.5. I can get it 8.5 at -110. So that's going to be a play I'm going to keep my eyes on. I don't know that I want to go and fade a situation where Alcantara and Heaney are going out there and you're thinking of an under in the first 5. So it might be an opportunity where that number gets down to 5.5 or 6.5, and I pull the trigger on the over at that point. A couple runs off the side.
I'm going to back what you were just saying here with some stuff I'm going to pull up. But Gas Report, shout out to our guy. He said pub culture loading. Who slipped up? I didn't say anything. I don't ever say anything bad. What did you say, Mike?
I don't know. Did I say anything?
All right.
I
didn't think we said anything. Well, we're just talking baseball right now. We're not even talking about what, happened to Jose. Shout out to our guy. Nobody's really been asking because we went over it earlier. I wasn't ready when I started the show, but yeah, he just disappeared. I think South Korea saw him. I mean,
he's on the hiding. They're coming looking for him. He's hiding. He's hanging on the low. His laptop cord is missing.
Right. All I'm saying is you do not talk shit about K-pop, okay? Because they don't. Those 11 and 12-year-old South Korean girls do not play around about body shaming. So Jose's out there watching his back right now. He's watching that one hole. But anyways, like we said, Sandy's looked like the NL Cy Young winner his last few starts, but Marlins do not score runs for him. I have a stat here. He's got 5 starts this season, thrown at least 7 innings, which is outstanding, giving up 2 or fewer runs that he didn't get a win in. Like, how does that happen? You're going to go 7 innings. You're going to give up 2 or fewer runs in 5 starts and not get a win. That's not right. That's like what, the Mets were doing with DeGrom. So that, I guess, that to me, that would bode towards the under also. I know you were kind of talking about the over, but it's like, if the Rangers do take this game, I could see it going under. I could, and that's coming from somebody who always bets the first 5 on the Rangers games. It's my most profitable bet this year. Today, I'm not going to be on it. But yeah, I like it, Mike. So you're back in the Rangers here?
I am. Yeah. I also like the full game because I want to see the full game. So unless it's a blowout early, I want to get my maximum enjoyment out of the thing. And I think that's going to be a fun one to watch. So interested to see how Sandy plays. We'll see if he gets the run support or not today, but I like the Rangers. I got him at minus 115. And then, like I said, I'm going to keep my eyes on a live opportunity as well.
Everybody in the chat. I love this chat, man. We do have over 200 people in here. So we appreciate all you guys showing up on a Sunday, man. Hit that like button, run it up for our guy, Jose. So we let him know he's missed here. North Enders talking about how the Rangers came back from 5-0 yesterday.
Yeah,
they did. They did. And I had that first 5 over yesterday, and I absolutely loved every second of it. Andrew G said, Jose, don't bet the Red Sox. That's my advice.
Yeah, stop doing that.
Right. All right. Let me pull up this next one here. So nothing for me on this game. I don't want to go against Sandy with how he's looked lately, but a lot of reasons why I can understand Mike back in the Rangers here. Right. A game that is the second game I've said this about, 15 games on the board. If I say this on 2, it's not so bad. I couldn't give a shit about this game. Shout out to our guy Nut Flush. If he has a bet in it, I'll all of a sudden care immensely about this game. But if Nut Flush doesn't have something, or you don't have something, Mike, I really couldn't care about it. You got the Giants taking on the A's. The total's sitting at 8. Anybody who is confused about my graphics, it's just the team, the line, and then the total at the end. So sorry about that. But I got nothing on this game, Mike. I can pull up some stats and stuff, but what are you looking at?
Boy, I caught the first 5 yesterday with Oakland, but here's a situation where we got 48% of the bets and 95% of the cash on the Oakland Athletics. And that's a huge number.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's pounding away on the Oakland Athletics. They opened at plus 180. It's down to plus 170. So I guess there's a 10-cent movement in that direction. It's taken about 30 cents of the steam off the Giants, but the total is kind of where I'm honing in on. So we've got Medina versus Cobb, and I've got some really compelling Cobb trend numbers out there. So I was looking at the Oakland side of the ball here, thinking their team total under is something that I'm not terribly upset about there at under 3.5 at minus 146. I'm going to take the first 5 opened up at 4.5. I'm going to take the first 5 and the full game unders. So the first 5 under 4.5 is minus 118, minus 115 is the best number I can get there. And the full game has gone to 8. I'm going to take the minus 8 or the under 8 at minus 104. So I got 2 plays. I doubled up.
Paco's said the same thing I said. I don't know if they're public, Paco, because I think he said 40% of the bets, but 90-something% of the cash. So I don't know if it's necessarily public, but definitely that'd be sharp money there. You got Cobb going for the Giants. I don't understand why people would be rushing out there to fade Cobb. I'd probably only look towards the under, honestly. You got Medina on the other side for the A's here. I mean, his last 3, 4 out of his last 5 starts, he's gone 5 innings and given up 2 or fewer runs. So, that's something to build on right there. I know his ERA is a 5.35 on the season. But again, you really want to look at what pitchers have done in their last 3, maybe their last 5 starts, because people make adjustments. People get in form. People's arms get out of shape. People's arms get in shape. Things change. And his last 5 starts tell me that he's been doing a pretty damn good job here. So I'd look under too if I was going to bet this one. I'd maybe even just go first 5 with it. But I'm not betting this game personally. But I like it, Mike. So what did you get to the window with the full game under?
The full game under 8 was minus 104, and the first 5 under 4.5 as well. So two plays. I double dip, double up. Let's go.
Hell yeah, man. Rolling right along here. We got 2 games left. Everybody in the chat, drop your action one more time. Nunya asked he's asking DC. Shout out DC. I don't see him in the chat, man. I wonder why. Oh, there he is. DC Capper said 7 plays today. Drop those plays in the chat. Feed us, DC. Feed us. Let everybody. Let everybody see it, man. We appreciate all you guys coming out here. Woo, 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 Kenny Woo. Shout out to you. That was fun to say. Next game we're looking at here, Mariners taking on the Angels, and the poor Angels, man. I talked about this yesterday with Jose, but it was hard to see Ohtani fighting back tears after they lost that game. That's just the sports heart in me. Like, it's hard to see because it shows how much he really wants to win with this fucked up fucking team, man. It's so hard to get behind a team that just can't help this guy out. They should have traded him away a couple years ago. I don't think they've won a game since they took him off after the trade deadline closed, I don't think they've won a game, right? I don't know if that's exactly right. I don't have it in front of me, but it's damn close, And coming into this one, you got Miller on the mound. He's from A&M, if I'm correct, from last year. I know he's a rookie, but I think he came in from Texas A&M. His last 2 starts, he's been blistered. Against Boston, he went 5 2/3, gave up 6 runs on 7 hits. Against Minnesota, he went 5 2/3, gave up 6 runs on 8 hits. So a little bit out of form there. He's hit or miss for me. But I'm damn sure not getting behind the Angels here. So I got nothing in this one. I was going to say maybe look to an over, but that's not something that I really want to bet with a team that's fallen off and the Mariners also. So I got no action in this game, Mike. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I think the trade deadline shakeup there kind of got the Angels are a team that I kind of had my eyes on from an RBI productive standpoint, and it wasn't just Ohtani, even though he's been priced in some nice opportunities, but a key guy that I've been saying I think is missing from that Angels lineup that we can agree to disagree is Taylor Ward. And Ward gets knocked out of the lineup with the facial contusion or whatever it is that he had there going on with his face. And he was a guy that drove in a lot of runs. He was a guy that, paid me out quite well the first half of the season on the RBI. Now, they brought in some other guys like C.J. Cron and, they've got Drury, they've got Grychek, they've got Moustakas. They've got a lineup, but they're just not gelling at this point yet. So I do like the Mariners play here. You're right about the All-Star break and kind of the post-All-Star record. The Mariners are also one of the best teams in Major League Baseball coming off a game that they played the previous day. So I think they've won 14 of their last 15, kind of when they're mid-series. And I'm going to go back to them again today. I can get it at plus 115 right now. So Silseth versus Miller, I'm going to go on the Miller side of the house and back the Mariners in the full game at plus 115.
I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say this right here. I absolutely, as far as a value standpoint, I absolutely agree with that bet 100%. And, I'll straight up say it if I don't. But I agree with that 100%. I think the Mariners, I've been saying it for 2 weeks now. I think they look like the team they looked like last year when they made that playoff run, when they started winning. I think they look like that playoff baseball team again. And, they were supposed to be that team all season. They thought they built that team to be, that team that can make a run, and they've been looking at it. So I get it. Shout out to our guy, Morgan Spooner. I like to put you guys' bets up here. Mariners first 5, Cubs team total over 3.5, Cubs first 5 money line, Orioles first 5, Texas, Miami over 4.5 in the first 5. Shout out to you. DC Capper put in Philadelphia. He's got the Phillies on the run line here. Shout out DC Capper. Everybody, man, we appreciate you guys. Like I said, over 200 people in here on a Sunday. Get shit popping, ready to get some money. We got one more game to talk about, and I have another bet that I'm going to have on this one. This is our primetime game, and anybody who knows me, my bet probably won't surprise you in this one. But we got the Dodgers Padres game. Where the fuck is my graphic? I'm sorry, I don't know if I made a graphic for this one. Oh, there it is. Thank God. Dodgers, Padres, Dodgers are up to minus 125 at some places. I had it at minus 115 on here. Total sitting around 9.5. You just got an absolute bum fight on the mound for starting pitchers. For everybody who says you don't want to cap starting pitchers, if you don't cap starting pitchers, this is a game where you might show up to the window with an under. I bet a lot of people who don't look at the pitchers might think about that. For me, you got Lance Lynn going for the Dodgers here. Dick Mountain on the other side going for the Padres, Rich Hill. Both of these guys, ERAs, Lance Lynn's got an ERA of 6.32 on the season. Rich Hill getting close to a 5. Both of them losing records. Both of them have whips getting close to 1.5, which is absolutely atrocious. Just a bum fight on the mound. It's like they're going to be throwing watermelons is what I feel like. And I'm interested to hear the cash flow on this one, Mike, in just a second on the total. But before we get there, I'm just going to let everybody know that the Padres team total over 2.5 is at plus money. And I've bet it in the first 5. So Padres team total over 2.5, first 5, plus 106. It's on my card. I gave it to Big Show as his birthday bet when he asked me. In this environment, it should be electric. Both teams have won a game here. You got people throwing high up and into Tatis. The Padres turn out well, especially at home on the weekends. This is a rivalry game. The energy should be electric in the stadium. If the Padres can't get 2.5 runs in the first 5 innings off Lance Lynn, fuck them. right? Honestly. So I bet the first 5 over 2.5 team total. I literally had to, I like this bet so much. I got a fucking new book because my 3 books that I was using didn't have first 5 team totals. That's how much I like this bet. I found a new fucking account and put money in it to bet it. Okay. So I'm on the Padres first 5 team total over 5.5. What are you looking at here, Mike?
That's interesting. I like to look at it too. I think it's for a Sunday night game, this one should be a lot of fun. These pitchers are both capable of getting lit up at any spot in this inning. First inning, second inning. Dodgers have been a yes run first inning team. And shout out to our guy Dave. Picks from Dave's been on that spot for a long time, and I've recently kind of come across it as well here. But some things that kind of alarm me when you look at the cash flow on the total is that we've got a total that opened at 9.5, still at 9.5, but it's slightly juiced to the under with 66% of the bets and 97% of the cash on the over. So it's juiced to the under. It opened at 9.5. It hasn't moved. And the public and the sharps alike are slamming away at that over. So a little cautionary I would throw out there. The number opened at -125 for the Dodgers. It's still at -125 for the Dodgers. 63% of the bets and 73% of the money on the Dodgers, and it's just not budging at this point. So still early in the day, 10,266 ticket sample, though, is pretty sizable. There's some games that really don't have anywhere near that kind of action on them. In fact, it still is one of the higher samples on the day. So some things to look out for, but I'm going to go with that yes run first inning because I do think, again, both these guys are capable of getting touched early. We know Lance Lynn's going to get guys all over the bases, and the yes run in the first inning is -125. So that's going to be how I open the card for Sunday night, but it's still a little early for me to make any other plays on it.
The Yurfie. I like it, especially with these 2 guys on the mound. It didn't surprise me one bit that you said everybody, including the sharps and the public, are hammering the over. I thought in my head, I was like, this will be one of those 99% fucking everybody. I figured everybody's money would be on the over here. I hope I'm not getting too cute by taking the Padres team total over in the first 5. But goddamn, if Lance Lynn goes through 5 or 6 innings and he's only given up 3 runs, I would still cash and I'd be shocked. Yeah. That you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I do. I get it.
Yeah. Like, so if he gets through 5 or 6 and gives up 3 runs, I think that's a great start for Lance Lynn in this situation. And I still would get that money. So over 2.5 at plus money. I'm on it. Paco Healy said he's tailing your Yurfie in this game. Shout out to our guy, Paco Healy. Everybody in the chat, man. Like I said, over 200 people in here. Hit that like, run it up. This was our last game on the board. We're going to recap our bets. But before we do, I got to say this. If you're going to bet any of these props that our guy Mike's giving out, download Prize Picks. Use promo code PubSportsRadio. They'll match your first deposit. Also bet online, promo code PubSportsRadio. Same thing. They'll match your first deposit. Basically anywhere. If you get in there, you might as well check and see if promo code PubSportsRadio works because you'll probably get either some free money or something cool. But shout out to everybody. I can recap rather quickly because I've only got 2 bets. So I'll go ahead and do this first. And for everybody who's laughing like Mike, that's double what I usually have.
I was laughing because you got 2. Yeah, normally we get 1.
Thank you. So, I was about to say that's double what I usually have. So
shout out to you for finding 2 bets out of this full 15 slate card.
Well, listen, Lance Lynn and fucking Dallas Keuchel are on the mound. It's not that hard. Lance Lynn and Dallas Keuchel are both pitching on the same day. Well, you know what I'm gonna fucking do? I'm gonna fade Fat Boys today. So I got the Diamondbacks team total over full game, and then I'm gonna go first 5 team total over for the Padres. Again, it's gonna be a little juice for the Diamondbacks team total over, like -115. But the Padres team total over is plus money, plus 106, and I like it. So that's Padres team total over 2.5 in the first 5. Diamondbacks team total over for the full game. That's where my money's at today. And yeah, I don't keep my action. I don't have like a giant card like some people, but hopefully you guys have cashed. I've been here every Saturday, Mike. It's Sunday now, but I was thinking yesterday, I was like, since college basketball, I've been here every fucking Saturday with you guys, and I absolutely love it. You guys in the chat. You guys up here on the panel with me. It's just been a blast. And I hope that people have, been able to, at least take some information or take some winners and make some money.
Yes, sir.
What do you got today, man? I know it's huge. I don't know how do you recap your whole card?
I'll go through it real quick here. So I've got the Baltimore over 8.5. I've got the Houston Astros. I took Toronto in the first half. I've got Salvador Perez RBI, the no-run first inning for the Cincy game, the Yelich RBI, full unit, half unit home run. Minnesota, I've got Ryan McMahon, RBI, full unit, half unit home run. I took the Braves, the Texas Rangers, the first 5 under 4.5, and the under 8 in San Francisco, Seattle, and the yes run first inning in the Dodgers game. So full card excited. Yeah, it's a lot of minefields to navigate today, but I like the way some of these games got played instead of forcing a side on Sunday. Contrary to the disbelief, it is a lot of work when they're traveling, and packing that suitcase is only one thing. Where do you put the suitcase? Who picks it up? Is it on the bus as we go to the airport? There's a lot of variables and factors that go into that travel spot on Sunday. So I like to take some hitting props and see if we can't stack these units up and maybe catch a double-digit day. So let's go.
Hell yeah, man. I love it, man. I know I keep saying it, but I'll keep saying it. The chat, man. Paco, BJ. We don't have anything up here without you guys. So we appreciate you. Steve G said big volume mic. Big pimp slap mic.
Go. Let's go.
Yeah. You're welcome, Morgan. We love being up here with you guys, man. This was a blast, Mike. You know, it was a little it's different when you're hosting here trying to do the producing stuff also. I'm not gonna lie, I fumbled fucking hard at the beginning. Nutflush was right on point. I was fucking stumbling through here, but I think we hit a nice groove, and I think we're gonna make some good money today, man. So thanks for being up here.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, dude. I think it's the first time you and I have had a chance to break the card down together. So curious to hear the thoughts, the input, and the sounding board as I kind of question some of the spots. And I think we're in a good position to make some money today. So that's what it's all about. But all you guys that came out here today, thank you for showing up. Thanks for putting your action in the chat for us as well. You know, hit that like button. Over 200 people strong in this thing. And, we broke the full card down. So make sure you guys do us the favor. Tag that like button. It only takes a second. And it does help out a ton. So we really appreciate you guys joining today. And hopefully we're all in a position to stack these chips high.
Absolutely. Rim Most, he is not pitching from what I understand. No, he is not. So I'm sorry that I said he was at first. The chat got all over me. Glasnow is not pitching. He's been scratched. I would be, slow if I didn't say this because we still got over 180 people in here, even with us letting everybody know we're bouncing out. Tomorrow morning, man, everybody show up. We got Medicate Monday. Mr. Pimp Slap will be right back there with us. And we have some fun. We do our strain of the day. We watch some funny videos. We do the fuck, marry, kill. We do the would or wouldn't. It's a lot of fun, but we also make money, man. Pimp Slap play of the day has been cashing on the sesh. And I don't love touting records. It's not my favorite thing because I know that as soon as I say, oh, look at me, I'll lose. It's how fucking shit goes. But I am 20-6 on the bets that I've given out on Medicate Mondays. Since this show came back, since we started, all my official bets have gone 20-6. And I'm gonna try and make that 21 or 22-6, maybe 23-6 tomorrow. So if you can show up tomorrow, Medicate Monday. We love you guys in the chat. We appreciate you. Say hey, plays. Shout out to our guy Jose. He'll be back here tomorrow, breaking down every game on the card. Let's get out of here, Mike. Let me find an exit for us. Peace to everybody in the chat.